Okay, today we're going to look to find the surface area of a cube or a rectangular prism. And it really doesn't matter what the shape is, but you need to know what all the faces look like. So here we do have a rectangular prism. And it might be hard for some people to visualize, but if you take a look at this particular shape, we can take a look and we know that if we look at the front, and I'm just outlining the front of this just looks like a rectangle. So if I take my rectangle, and I'm going to go ahead and say that that is the front. Okay, I know that that is the front of my shape. And if I know what the front would be, I should also know that the back is going to be exactly the same. The back is going to be exactly the same. So I can look and say that I've got the front and the back. I can look at these dimensions. I could go ahead and make a copy of this because the dimensions would have to be the same for the front and the back. And if I take a look at the dimensions, you should be able to see that the front would be 2 inches by 5 inches. And then it's a good idea to go ahead and label this. This is going to be a 2 by 5. This is also going to be a 2 by 5. That takes care of the front and the back. So then let's take a look at the top. And if I do take a look at the top or the bottom, which would be the same, I'm going to go ahead and just outline that. And you should be able to say, okay, I'm looking at the bottom, and I'm also going to be looking at the top because both of those measures should be the same. Both of those measures should be the same. So I've got a top and a bottom. And again, we are looking at what we're going to call a rectangular shape. So if you make a rectangular shape, that would be the top and the bottom. And the bottom measures would be 3 by 5. So now we have 3 by 5, and then the top would be 3 by 5, and we're good to go. Now we have to take a look at what would be the side measurements. And again, you need to make sure that you're taking a look so that you know exactly the measurements, and you're kind of sort of looking at what's right here. And that might be a little difficult to look at, but if we do, we could say we've got a side, and obviously how many sides do we have? We have 2 sides, so both of those measures would be the same. And again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You could just draw 2 little rectangles of some sort, and then we would take a look and we could see that we do have a depth of 3, and if we look at how tall it is, you should be able to look at the parallel side of this rectangle and notice that that is 2, so we're going to have a 2 by 3, which means this is 2 by 3. Notice these 2 here, here, and here, I did not draw them to scale, nor do I have to. But we would know that the area, starting up here with the front and back, 2 times 5 would give us 10, and it would be inches squared. And then the back would be the 10 inches squared. The bottom is a 3 by 5, so we have 15 inches squared, also 15 inches squared. And then we're taking a look at the side, a 2 by 3, we have 6 inches squared, and another 6 inches squared. Take a look, and to find the total surface area, we are looking at the area of all the surfaces. And so we could go, and we have 10 and 10 is 20, 20, and we've got 30 here, so 30, 40, 50, 50, 62. So the total surface area would be 62 inches squared. And that would be your answer on this particular problem. Now, if I wanted to take a look at something like this shape, okay? If we take a look at this shape, it's the surface area of a triangular prism. Little bit different, but you would go about it the same way. Start looking at what the faces look like. I'm going to start just with the bottom, and if I would just outline this bottom, it would be a rectangular shape, and I'm going to say that I'm looking at the bottom. I'm going to look at the shape, and the shape is obviously rectangular. I could take a look at the dimensions, and I should be able to see that it is 12 inches by 24 inches. So I can go ahead and put 12 and 24 here, and I just took care of that bottom portion, which is fine. Then the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to take a look, and I'm going to say, all right, I've got this slanted top going on. I've got a slanted top going on. So I could almost look at it like here, 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 and here. And even though it's slanted, you should be able to understand that that is still going to be a rectangular shape. So I'm just going to mark this as the slant top. And if I take a look at this slanted top, I would be able to look and say, well, gee, this shorter side is going to be 12 inches. I'm going to mark a 12. And then this long length is going to be 26. So now I just took care of another face of my triangular prism. Still working, okay, still working. We have to take a look at, get rid of these, excuse me. Let's see, let me get rid of that. Don't want to do that. Nope, nope. Okay, hang on a minute here. Where are we? Okay, sorry about that. So if we take a look, we can delete some of this, and we are going to look at the back portion. So we're going to take a look at the back portion, and we should be able to see that the back kind of looks like a square, but we're not sure what it is. So we're going to just go ahead and mark our back. And if you take a look, it's 10 high, so we can mark that as 10. And then we need this measurement, which is parallel to this, and so we know that that's going to be a 12. And we'll just call that the back. That's going to be our back. Little lengthier process here, but this is going to be our back. And then what do we have left? The only thing that we have left at this point are our two sides. And if we take a look at our two sides, we should be able to tell that we have a triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I've got a triangle, and I actually have two of these triangles, one on either side. So if I look at this, and I'm just going to clone it so that I do remember that I have two, I'm going to go ahead and mark my right angle on both. I'm going to mark my right angle on both. This way I can take a look at the two legs of the triangle that hold the right angle, and it's going to be a 24 and the altitude of 10. So I've got a 10 here, I've got a 24 here. That would mean this would be 10 and 24. And we're going to talk that these are the sides, so we have two of them. Now, same thing holds true as what we did earlier. The only thing that we are going to do is find the area of each of these faces. I have absolutely no problem if you need to use a calculator at this point. And so we're going to take a look at the bottom, and it's going to be 12 by 24, which is going to give us 228, and this is inches squared. And so the next one we have is going to be 12 by 26, and we get 312 inches squared. The next one, the back, is a 10 by 12, so 120 inches squared. And then if I take a look at my triangle, hopefully that you know that you take the base times the altitude. The altitude would be what the line that is crossing at a 90-degree angle. They are the legs of your right triangle. They are the sides that hold the right angle. They are perpendicular. So I would have 10 times 24, which is 240. And then, of course, we know with a triangle, it is the base times the height, and then we divide that by 2, which would give us 120 inches squared for just one of the triangles. But since I have two, I know I have another 120 inches squared. So now I'm looking, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lengths, and I do in fact have a base, 1, a back, 2, a top, 3, and then 2 sides, 5. So I should have all of my sides. I'm going to go ahead and find the sum of 228 plus 312 plus 120 plus 120 plus 120, and we should come up with a sum of 900 inches squared. And that would be your surface area of your triangular prism. And that's it.